What does this say about the Astros accepting the invite?
It says they're making a grave error and are on the wrong side of history. And I want to be very clear about this. This has nothing to do with where on the political spectrum you fall, left or right. Nothing. It's not about being progressive or conservative or Democrat or Republican or winning or losing elections. That's not what this is about. I say what I say because what has gone on in this administration is abnormal and must not be normalized. The former national security advisor has already admitted to lying to the feds. There is an investigation ongoing into the Trump administration and collusion with a hostile foreign power that involves our national election. I mean, there's no whataboutism, well, this happened. No, it doesn't. It has never happened in my lifetime. All the president's men seem to be implicated. All the president's men seem to be implicated. It's a reference to the Nixon White House. When I say in my lifetime, I suppose I was 1 year old the last time anything nearly this scandalous occurred with the president, and so or an administration. And so to do anything to normalize what is going on right now has nothing to do with being a Republican or a Democrat or who you're rooting for politically. It has to do with equal protection under the law and constitutionality and being a patriotic American citizen. You do not normalize this behavior with White House visits, period.
I'm sorry, Max, I don't believe you. I don't believe that it has nothing to do with your politics, or at the very least, it has nothing to do with politics. Last time we had this conversation, things got fairly heated. I promised to keep myself a little more between the lines today. I see you nodding, appreciating that.
Thank you very, very much.
I'll do my best.
Do your best. Go ahead.
Here's the thing, Max. Even if I grant you the premise that what you're telling us has nothing to do with left or right or Republican or Democrat, even if I grant you that, the indictment that I have of your position...
You don't need to grant it to me. It doesn't.
All right, fine. Moving along, my indictment of your position on this is more on the fact of dividing us into political and apolitical. It's those that see their worldview primarily or perhaps completely through the political prism, and those who have a broader worldview than simply, hey, how does this play politically? How does this symbolize what I stand for? What is it that I vote? What box do I check? No matter which side you check on, it doesn't matter. The point is your life, are the things you do bigger and broader than politics? And for guys like George Springer, World Series MVP, Houston Astro, it's clear his answer is yes. It's bigger than politics. Here's his quote. In our country, it stands for a lot. It means a lot to a lot of people. I've been there. My grandfather worked in Washington for years. If the team goes, I'm going. I see nothing in that statement about whether or not he supports Donald Trump. I see nothing in that statement about which way he voted. I see nothing in that statement about whether or not he wants to normalize what's going on in this country, whether or not he agrees or disagrees, and what he co-signs or not. Only that he realizes a trip to the White House is what most of us realize it can be. I don't know, honoring tradition, honoring the office, honoring the country, honoring unity, honoring the special accomplishment that you and your teammates have, crossed the finish line of in the past year. It can be those things. And I'm here to tell you it is those things for most people.
You want to respond to that, Max, before I go in?
Sure, it may be, but these are difficult decisions or decisions that must be made as adult human beings who are hopefully engaged in the world, aware of the world around them, and make choices. And if you make the choice to see it in the way that you just described because you're not attempting to normalize an administration, the fact is the effect will be that you are aiding in normalizing an administration that shouldn't be normalized. And if you put your own kind of personal value on honoring some tradition, which, by the way, only goes back to the Reagan White House, then I would say you have chosen poorly.
Max Kellerman, here's why I disagree with you. I disagree with you because you act as if anybody who makes the decision to go to this particular White House automatically has attached to themselves and their name as being on the wrong side of history. I don't think everybody's going to look at every single individual and say, you went to the White House, so guess what? You're on the wrong side of history. I think if people espouse political views in support of this administration or in support of this president in light of how he has behaved himself as our commander-in-chief, then your argument elevates in terms of its potency. But if folks are just going there because they're saying, hey, the rest of the team is going on with the team, I don't think that people are going to judge them that way. But let me get to my bigger point here. The biggest reason why I think, Will, that it's a mistake for the Houston Astros to go is because we're talking about Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball's history. Major League Baseball historically has always been the last to the party. The NBA, the NFL, the mosaic that it has become in terms of globalizing its brand, in terms of galvanizing Americans everywhere, they've successfully gone about the business of doing so. Whereas Major League Baseball has been a league that prides itself on holding on to its tradition, doing things its way. They've been very slow to change and to address things that need to be changed in the sport. So if you look at the reigning World Series champions, you've got a Cuban on the squad, you've got somebody from Venezuela on the squad, you've got somebody from Puerto Rico on the squad. We know what the president's rhetoric was about the wall and all of this other stuff. And you can speak to this, and I'll defer to you to some degree here because the Houston Astros are in Texas. I mean, they do represent Texas, and you would know. I mean, when you talk about that wall, okay, and you talk about building that wall, that great big wall, and leaving folks out and not being inclusionary, because that's how some people are interpreting it, even though not everyone. The reality is, if you're the Houston Astros, do you want to be associated with that, even that question, considering the fact that we're talking about Major League Baseball and its history of sort of being slow on the uptake? I'm wondering about that.
But can it be bigger than the president?
I think that's
bigger than this president right now?
That's a fair question.